Wolfpack Nation, we got a very special guest. He's actually the first active player that we've been able to have on the podcast. We went through this all last season and wasn't able to get a current player. So I'd like to welcome Cam Hayes. Had a great freshman campaign last year, started 14 games for the Wolfpack, the 68th ranked player in the nation coming out of high school. He's got the keys to the Ferrari this year, all academic ACC team as well, which is something very impressive. I don't even know if I played with anybody that was all academic team. Averaging 11 points a game this year. He's averaging 2 rebounds, 2 assists, which I know the 2 assists will definitely go up as the season goes on. So Cam, welcome.
Thanks for having me, man. You know what I'm saying? You're the GOAT. You know,
Well, I appreciate you coming on. So before we move on, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners at River Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Rivers yet, now's the time because they're offering $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, more reliable. With basketball season tipping off, get in the action by going to betrivers.com today or by downloading BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. So, man, welcome to Scott Wood's One Man Wolfpack. I tell everybody I'm going to be biased because you're the one that came up to me after practice when I spoke. So anybody that's willing to learn and gain knowledge I'm a little bit biased. So you're up there as one of my favorite players right now. So before we get started, okay, it was a Greensboro day. Was it Greensboro Day?
Yeah, it was Greensboro Day.
Greensboro Day. So we're in high school. We're going to take it back a little bit. At what moment in your, basketball career did you realize, like, I could be good? This is something I could do at a high level. At what moment did it click on for you?
Well, before I got to Greensboro Day, I was attending Ben L. Smith, which was in Greensboro as well. It was a public school.
Mm-hmm.
And sophomore year, everything kind of started clicking. Towards the end, I was averaging probably 16 and 8.
Yeah.
So everything going good. We finished in the Final Four. We lost to Wendell Moores at Duke in the Final Four in the tournament. So that was good. And then my AAU year, that was when I broke out my 16U year playing with CP3. Yeah. I went into AAU just with a lot of confidence and stuff. And then what really made it for me, or where I kind of got noticed, was Peach Jam that year.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the game we was playing Mocan Elite, and we was down 15 or something going into half, and I just ended up with 30, and we won. Yeah. And then it just started clicking from then. So I would say my sophomore year, where I thought I can really play at a high level.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, I feel like every player kind of has that moment where you're playing basketball, but you don't everybody has the mindset, oh, I'm gonna be the greatest of all time. But then all of a sudden something kind of clicks and you're like, man, I could be really good. Yeah. So I'm glad you're able to kind of share that with us. So being the number 68 recruit in the nation, obviously you're going to have pretty much your pick of places to go. What options were you really, really considering outside of NC State?
Well, I was considering Florida State,
mm-hmm.
Maryland. Really Florida State and Maryland besides NC State. Those were basically, I'd say my top 3.
Yeah.
And out of high school, because I had other offers Tennessee, Arkansas, and all that, but I really liked here, Maryland, and Florida State the most. So those two.
Well, I can promise you, me and all of Wolfpack Nation are glad that you made this decision. So when did you know NC State was the place you wanted to go?
Well, I came to NC State a lot. I think my first time I came here was my freshman year when Dennis was there.
Yeah.
And then I used to come to all the games on unofficial visits, but I think my official visit set the tone. Being able to really get a feel for the whole coaching staff, the players, and the atmosphere on the official, it made it know yeah, I can really come here, and it felt like home. So the official visit stamped it for me.
So who was your host for that?
CJ Bryce was my host. That's my guy. Yeah.
Okay, well that's a good one to have. So it's always nice, especially when you get there, that you don't know what to expect. College is a completely different ball game, and then all of a sudden they take you out, and it kind of opens your eyes up to almost a whole new world. So now you come in as a freshman. Okay, we're going to talk about kind of the freshman year. That jump from high school to college, I tell everybody there's, some people take it differently. Some people say, it's pretty easy transition. Some people say, I had to get used to the speed, the size, things like that. What was the factor for you, or what was, something that you realized that you had to get better at from once you kind of stepped onto the college campus and you start playing, against NC State in practice, you start, your preseason games. What was the one thing that you felt like you really had to adjust from the high school to the college game?
Defensive end, really. Defensively, it was a big adjustment, and the physicality, you're probably like the best player and like the biggest and the strongest one. But once you get there as a freshman, everybody's big, everybody's strong, everybody's fast. So the like physicality part was hard for me at first. And then defensive wise, like being able to be in the right spots, hitting the roll man when he's rolling and make stay in front of the ball. So that was probably the two like biggest things for me.
Yeah. Well, I remember looking at, so I was 6'6", 175 pounds. Like I was staying there smaller than Baby T. And I remember when I first got to campus, I was like, I'm getting hit a lot more than I did in high school. You could bounce off some guys, but now you got to have that physicality. But the nice part about it is especially the same thing with you, same thing with probably Baby T's going through. It's if you have that heart and the work ethic, it's going to make up for a lot of, size or being a little bit smaller. So you're doing great. I'm enjoying to watch the progression. That's for sure. So now you're a sophomore. Okay. You got the keys to the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, the Bugatti, whatever you want to call it. This is your team. You have the keys. So as a point guard, you've got end of game situations, end of clock situations, beginning of game. There's a ton of situations that go out through the game. What are you looking to do at the beginning of the game? As you're, especially at the beginning, I know I was lucky enough to have Lorenzo Brown, great point guard. I felt like he was always a little bit more, passive at the beginning of the game, trying to get guys involved, trying to get them, to get a couple buckets early, get their confidence up. And then as the game kind of rolled down, he'd start now looking for his own shot because, I've made a couple. It opens up the lane a little bit. People are getting, involved. What's your mindset? I mean, everybody has a little bit different one. So at the beginning of the game, what are you thinking when you step on that court?
Just being aggressive, really.
Yeah.
And I find an open man. Like if I want to, like coming in the game, I want to get, Casey going.
Yeah.
And as if they get going to open the floor up, I know Darion's going to do what he got to do, get to the basket and stuff. And now since we got young bigs, I want to, make sure like they get a couple touches, maybe a couple dump downs, or they get I go and talk to them, or they get a good defensive stop. But coming into the game, I just want to come in real aggressive and look to find the open man and just make it easier for everybody because I know once the game progresses, it'll open it up for me as well.
Yeah, well, one of the things also that I didn't say, I should have said it too, averaging half a turnover a game, which is phenomenal for someone that possesses the ball as much as you do. So kind of talk about that aspect. That was, that's one that's really big for me because I feel like if you can take care of the ball, it gives your team more possessions, more chances to get good looks. Obviously, that transition is part of it too. Obviously, the physicality of defenders guarding you makes a difference on you, taking care of the ball. How have you learned, coming to the next level and taking the next step into your sophomore year, just understanding to take care of that ball a little bit better? What things have you worked on? Obviously, I think physicality is going to be a big one. Or is that also kind of, Coach Keats' system now? You're a freshman. You didn't know it as well to start. Now you kind of understand the system. What kind of, in your mind, do you think can attribute to you only having that low of a turnover margin?
Just knowing that, like, he doesn't like turnovers. So make it
And listen, I can vouch for this. I've seen practice, so I know what they do when he's turning it over or they're losing.
At the end of practice, I don't like doing that. So just making sure I value the basketball, knowing like when to like maybe force one here and there, but just making the easy passes and knowing what he wants and just not trying to force anything. I think that's one of the biggest things for me. I know like the last game, it was my first 2 turnovers and I was kind of mad, but just knowing like when to pass, when to force one, when not to force one, when to make it like to get. Those was like really one of the things that helped me like from preventing turnovers and stuff. And physicality wise, like last year, kind of people would get up under me and stuff, but now
Yeah.
like a lot of people don't do that. I just put them on my hip or might hit them with a little shoulder here and there, and they'll might back up. So it just makes it easy for me as well.
Well, that's the tough part, is especially, with you trying to be aggressive, trying to gauge, when to really push it, when to step off that throttle a little bit, just to make sure that, you're taking care of the ball. So let's talk about kind of the first 4 games. So what do you think we're going to do as an individual first? As an individual, 4 games in, what's one of the things that early on that you've seen that you kind of want to work on for yourself to kind of help the team win?
Just trying to stay out there on the floor as much as possible.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with a lot of stuff on my body that, I've just been trying to push through it. But, like a couple, like first, like 4 or 3 or 4 games, like you see, I wouldn't play a lot the second half. So
yeah.
I was kind of like suffering a lot of like cramping and stuff and all this extra stuff. So like just trying to stay out there on the floor and try and help them out. That's one of the things. And trying to get my assist ratio back up. I'm averaging like 2 assists. I know like when I pass, everybody's not going to hit shots, but just making sure like I can make it easier for everybody.
It's making everybody feel involved. I tell everybody, even if you're not necessarily touching the ball, but there's, some move, I call it people movement. So when guys are moving, they're cutting and they feel involved, they maybe get just a catch on the wing. They're more likely to go on the other end and play defense for you. you get a lot of guys, they're in that corner and they just haven't touched the ball for 10 minutes, or they haven't felt like they've been involved. And all of a sudden they're just like, I don't want to play defense. I'm not even getting the ball. So that's one of the big things, especially, as a point guard, that you're going to really learn. And you'll start with your leadership to understand how, there's certain people, you can push and you can really, get on, what I'm talking about, and practice. And there's others that
way into.
Yeah. And there's others that, they don't always take criticism very well. So you as a leader, you're going to kind of learn over time how to, push guys and what can make them step up. But you also got to understand that, they want to feel involved too. So as a team now, so obviously you getting healthy is a big part of it, getting in that cold tub, getting in there and getting your treatment. So as a team, 4 games in, what's one of the things that, maybe Coach Keats is talking about during the film sessions and things like that you guys can really improve on?
Rebounding the ball.
Yeah.
That's really things, and making sure that's really, really a really big thing. Last game, a lot of people would get a lot of offensive rebounds, but that's one thing we kind of prioritize is rebounding the ball and just making it easier for us on the offensive end. He's not really worried about us offensively, but I feel like we need to get a little bit more ball movement, more movement. And if we get out of defensively, it make it easier for us on the offensive end, because then we can get out in transition, so we don't have to go run some in the half court. That's one of the other things. But it's 4 games in. I know it's a long season, but we still trying to find our identity, because Manny have Manny anymore. So
yeah.
Like E.B. Dewana and Jalen Gibson, they're doing really good, but just making sure they stay confident and stuff, and they feel important throughout the game. So that's one of the things I feel like as a team we got to do.
Yeah. Well, one of the offensive things, especially when you're coming off pick and roll, I'll tell you, I'll give you my little bit of advice. I try not to give too much advice. This is the basketball player coming out in me. So when you're running pick and roll, whether it's EB or Jalen coming to set this screen, you either have, you can sometimes have an empty side. Sometimes, you got 2, on the opposite side. And you guys did it quite a bit in practice when I was there the other day. But this is one thing that I would tell you, guys off ball. So maybe it's Jericho, at the top, or maybe it's, Casey at the top, and you have 2. So if you're coming off the right side, obviously the left side is where you have 2, because you want, if they're tagging on that side, that's where your help is. Keep having them set kind of that flare action or that exchange action, because the problem is if they don't move, one, it's going to make it tougher on you because it's a simple tag, and then they can X out on the pass. So it's a little bit easier. But as soon as they start to make that exchange, the defense has to talk. And when it forces the defense to talk, that's when things start to get messed up. And then it'll open up that lane for you, EB, to have a free roll so he's not getting tagged. And then if they start to come in, they can get that screen on the flare or even that exchange. You got that kick out to the left. So that's one of the things, especially in practice, you do it a lot. And I've learned it's the same thing in practice. I feel like you're always moving in practice. And then all of a sudden in the game, you watch film and it's like, I feel like I'm walking half the time. So it's just one of those things that if you can kind of, keep telling them, hey, keep moving on that backside when I'm coming off. One, it's going to open up your big. You get it to the big a couple of times, you keep him happy. Now, all of a sudden, you guys have fed off that enough. They're going to sink in, and you're just going to get those easy passes, whether it's, right back to the top or to that corner. So that's one of the things that just keep an eye on and let them know. So, all right, we kind of mentioned no Manny Bates. It's a big hit for scoring. That's a big hit for your rebound. That's a big hit for your defensive adjustments. So in practice, obviously, I know Coach Keats wants to kind of keep the same flow, the same system. Have you noticed any difference that he's tried to do now that Manny's not out? Are you guys doing anything a little bit different? Or are you guys trying to keep the same principle?
We keeping the same principle. It's just we don't have like that dominant shot blocker in the paint anymore. Kind of clean up some of our mistakes on the defensive end. So he just kind of emphasized like we really got a guard now. Really can't make as many mistakes and just play hard all the time on the defensive end. But other than that, it really hasn't been any more adjustments. It's just bringing the bigs along like Jalen and EB, as I mentioned, making sure like they're doing good. They're doing really good right now. And it's a really good opportunity for them. And I feel like they're going to seize that moment. But that's really just one of the things that he just emphasized since Manny's been down.
Yeah, well, they're going to continue to get. But I tell everybody, this is still a really young team. Like there's a lot of basketball left. Obviously, everybody wants success right here and now. But at the end of the day, you got to continue to grow, and they're going to grow. But it also, a lot of it comes now on you, Jericho, Darion. That now all of a sudden you guys got to gang rebound. You got to help these guys. Maybe it's their face blocking out just to make sure the big doesn't get the rebound, and you guys clean it up. So. There's different ways to help out with that, especially you guards. I mean, you guys can help a little bit, kind of like you said, just cleaning up some defensive assignments so you guys aren't putting as much pressure on them to be in help side and things like that. So for this season alone, what is one thing that you want to improve on as the season goes? Obviously, we mentioned from, your freshman year, that improvement. For this year, what's something that you're trying to improve as the year goes on?
Being consistent every game, basically. Consistency is a really big key, and it really gains a lot of confidence. So if I stay consistent, I feel like my confidence would be more better, and I have more confidence, and then like my teammates can feed off that. But I feel like last year we went through a stretch as a team, like we was like losing a couple of games here and there, then we win one, then we lose. But I feel like consistency will be a really big key this year for me as well as my team.
Yeah, that's a good one. So what are your personal goals? So your individual personal goals, whether it's maybe making all ACC or, like you said, just I just want to be consistent. What's a personal goal for you? Something that you're kind of really trying to push yourself to obtain this year? Maybe lead the ACC in assists. What's one of those goals?
Trying to make one of the ACC teams, but really what matters to me, I just want to win. Yeah, I just want to win. I don't really care about all the extra stuff that goes on with me. As long as we win, I'm gonna be fine. Well, but it would be cool to make an ACC team and stuff. But I'm not really looking at that right now. I'm just really trying to win and trying to get my team better every day.
Well, that's the main thing. I remember my dad after every game. My mom was different. My mom would ask me how many points I scored, but my dad, the first question he asked me, he always asked me, "Did you win?" Then the next question would be, "How many rebounds did you have?" So at the end of the day, it's all about winning. That's absolutely perfect answer. And I think if you guys end up where you guys want to be, I think that's going to require you to be kind of that all ACC player. So I think the success with this team will come with your individual success as well. So kind of talk about as a team, those goals. Obviously we want to take it each game at a time, I call it building blocks. You just want to keep putting that Lego down and keep getting better each and every day. Talk about some of those team goals, some of the things that you kind of talked about with the team, what you guys want to accomplish at the end of the season.
We want to make the tournament. We didn't make it last year, and I know my senior year of high school, they would have made a tournament if COVID didn't hit.
For
So that's
sure.
really things that we've emphasized to the team is trying to get to the NCAA tournament, but win as many games as possible, and also trying to win an ACC championship, or at least being at least like top 5 in the ACC this year. Because I mean, every year we come in, they put us around the midway, like around 8 or 9, but we feel like we should be in the top 5. So as a team, those one of our goals, like being top 5 in the ACC, trying to win the ACC, and trying to make the NCAA tournament at the end of the year.
Well, you guys just, it's kind of like I said when I was there, just keep the chip on your shoulder, man. It's all about you guys. You got a lot of doubters out there, but you guys keep putting in the work, keep getting better, and you guys will find success if you guys do that. So let's kind of talk about the guard depth. This is one of the things for the first year, I've really felt like I love the guards. I don't know if there's a guard on the roster that, I'm not happy about. Kind of go through that depth. Obviously, one of the things that goes through my mind is practices and how competitive they're going to be, especially at the guard level. Maybe you guys break down your guards and bigs and you're playing, 2s with guards or 1s with guards. Talk about that depth and how it pushes you to get better each and every night. Cause you have a couple bad games and now you got, somebody creeping up on you, getting a couple minutes. But the nice part is, you have that guard depth and the guy coming in, you guys aren't going to lose a step. Kind of go through that guard depth and what it's mean for the team.
It's really beneficial for us. I mean, knowing that he can come and sub with guard in and like we won't miss a beat. But and practice is real competitive. It's a lot of talking and a lot of it gets real hectic in practice, but it's all fun and we all know we want to compete and make each other better every day. But the guard depth is really good. I feel like as guards, I mean, it's obvious that we have to lead the team. We got to carry it by example, but our depth is really good. Even the young guys like Bibby T, Breon, and like transfers like Casey, they all like meshed with us since day one, since they got here. It made it easier for us as well. And then Darian has improved a lot since last year. He averaging like 19 to 10 right now. And then TA, once he gets, his feet back rolling, he's going to be good as well. And I mean, I just really like our guards a lot. I mean, I feel like compared to last year, like this year's team as guards and as a team as well, like we've been way closer than the team we had last year. So it just makes it easier for us to play together.
Well, that's one of the big things too, is, I mean, when you have that kind of depth, it makes you better in practice. I mean, it'd be one thing if, you're the only guy out there, you ain't got nobody to push you. And now, you got 5, 6 guys, 7 guys that are going to push you in practice every day. And that's going to only make you get better as the season goes on. So I was never a point guard, but I've been around some decent point guards in my day. So when you're coming off, pick and roll, kind of go through your progression. So what's the first thing you're looking at? Are you looking at, is this defense in drop? Are they hedging? Are they icing? Talk about your progression. What are you looking at? Obviously, you want to be aggressive. So probably the first thing, you're probably looking for your shot. You're looking to attack. Kind of go through that progression and what you're thinking when you come off of a pick and roll.
But when I come off, I really read the big and I read the whoever the help man is that's going to hit the big that's rolling. So if the defense is dropping, I know I can get still continue to get downhill, because if he don't step up, I'm going to have a shot or I'm going to have a float. If the big steps up and nobody hits the roll, man, like the opposite man, I got the lob, I got the bounce pass, but if I know the opposite man hits the roll, man, I know I got the lift behind me. So that's really what I come off. First, I'll read big because I know I'm not really worried about my man once I come off the screen. I'm really just reading the big and the help man every time.
Yeah, no, that's what you got to do. And I know a lot of people probably have no idea what we're talking about, but it's as simple as there's probably 3 defenses that you're probably going to see out of the bigs outside of maybe a trap. I mean, so you got a hard hedge, which is basically the big showing hard, trying to get you to take a reverse dribble. Then you got a drop defense, which is probably the more modern defense that traditional bigs that you're going to see. So that's just the big dropping, trying to play that low pass with the right hand if you're coming off to the right. So there's a lot of things, especially, I didn't come off many pick and rolls, which I didn't need to, but there's a lot of things, especially as a point guard, it puts a lot of pressure on you to kind of read and make those decisions, because you literally, it's milliseconds that you got to make the right decision. Because if not, the guys are closing out, especially with the athleticism in today's game, and you can lose an opportunity to get a shot. So we'll go to, I got one more question before we go. I just got 5, it's basically 6 questions now, but I got one question. A staff game of one-on-one. So we're just talking, just staff. Coach Summy wouldn't answer this. I'm trying to find out who would win a staff game of one-on-one. Who are you picking?
Like throughout the whole staff?
Just the coaches. Take away managers, take away GAs. We're just going just the staff. Who are you taking?
Summy and Robertson?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
You ain't gonna win many games with them, but you got to pick one. Who you taking?
I'm either.
You got to pick one. Hey, listen, Coach Summy wouldn't pick one because Coach Summy said he knows one thing. He said it's definitely not him, but Coach Keats, Coach Robertson, and JJ would all say themselves. Yeah. So I said you got to pick one of them.
All got they all got different. Like with Keats, he's gonna find a way to win. Like he's either gonna cheat his way to win or he's gonna just make his rules.
It sounds like a lot of coaches I've had in the past. That's how they play. They'll bend the rules to win.
He's a dog, so I know if I go on with JJ, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't really Robertson though. I'm probably gonna have to go with either Coach Keats or JJ.
Okay. All right. At least you gave me an answer.
Yeah, I can't really give you a definite answer, but those probably my 2 picks.
Okay. All right. So if we're in an in-game situation, okay, in-game situation, take away the score, take away everything. If you had to get one shot, a walk-in transition 3 or coming off a pick and roll floater over a big attacking you, which one would you rather have?
The floater.
You'd rather have the floater?
Yeah, for sure.
I'd rather
have a floater.
I felt like there was some hesitation in that answer.
Nah, I ain't no hesitation. Either a floater, really, if I'm coming off, I can get to the pull-up whenever I want to. But I mean,
I hear you. All right, so now I got 5 questions. This is the last thing we got. They're pretty simple questions, okay? This is, I call it the starting 5. So the starting 5 is brought to you by Reef Ivy at Dogwood Properties. Need a local real estate agent? As we all know, the real estate market is crazy right now. Maybe you have questions, or maybe you just have an honest opinion, just need an honest opinion from a trusted real estate professional to ensure your best interest is protected. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, call Reef Ivy at Dogwood Properties. For a seamless home buying experience, give Reef a call. For a special audience, if you're considering the possibility of selling a home, call Reef on his personal cell number, 919-995-3111. Again, that's 919-995-3111. He's the best in the triangle and a personal friend, so please give him a call. He's also a big state graduate. So everybody out there looking for any real estate needs, give him a call, all right? So these are pretty easy questions, so you can have fun with them, all right? So the first question, you can have dinner with any 2 people, alive or dead, any 2 people. Who would you pick?
Alive or dead?
Any. I've gotten family members. I've gotten Coach Summy gave me 2 politicians last time. I've gotten basketball players. I've gotten actors. I've gotten it all. So who would you pick?
Probably have to go one with my cousin Josh. He died. He died a couple of years back. Probably Josh Taylor. Let's probably be one just to hear his voice, and I know down with him, he's gonna make me laugh, and I'm gonna have a good time. That's probably one. That would be like a family member, and then the other one would probably be. I'll probably just have to go with. Probably somebody like LeBron or. Yeah, I'll probably have to sit down with LeBron just to see just to ask him, just to pick his mind, see how he.
No, but
ask him about his routine and what he sees as a bigger guard coming off ball screens and anything basketball wise. And like how he's successful off the basketball court as well.
Well, that's the good part about you is your willingness to learn. I've already mentioned it, coming to me, asking a couple questions, and the same thing with, just willing to learn. And that's one of the things. If you could take obviously what makes you great and then take, pieces from a lot of guys that you've watched and studied and implement them in your game, it's only going to make you that much better. So now you got to take them out to eat. Okay. So any place on or near campus, where are you going to take them to eat? And you can't say Bojangles because they sponsor you.
So I can't say Amigos either?
You can say, I'll give you Amigos. I won't let you have Bojangles though.
Definitely. I'll definitely take them to Amigos. That's the spot.
No, if I had to pick one, that's probably the most popular one that I've had so far. That's one question I've always asked, and Amigos is the hot spot for sure. So your favorite memory so far in an NC State uniform?
NC State, probably being Carolina. My freshman year was really a big memory because, a lot of the people on the team, like a lot of the seniors like Dev and DJ,
yeah,
I think that was their first time beating North Carolina. So it was a really good moment.
Yeah.
And so that was probably like the best memory I have.
Well, Carolina's been a thorn in our side forever. I feel like we get the best of Duke from time to time, but Carolina's one of those that they were a thorn in my side too. So keep getting after it on them. So the best advice you've ever received and by who?
Best advice I've ever received. Probably from Breon's dad who passed away, Coach Pass, Curtis Pass. Remember when we was little, he just always told us just to have fun and play as hard as we can. And he always, so like, just him just saying, like, just go out there and have fun and play hard and everything will take care of itself. That's probably like, I guess, like the best advice I've gotten, because without him, really, I wouldn't really be here today because he helped me with a lot of stuff. So, yeah.
That's a great one. So favorite place to play outside of PNC Arena?
Favorite place? I didn't really get to play at that many spots.
I can tell you mine. Mine was Greensboro Coliseum. Every time we had an ACC championship there, I played really well. I shot like 70% there. So Greensboro Coliseum was mine. So you could pick anywhere. Maybe it was a high school gym, anything you can think of. Have you played in Madison Square Garden yet?
No, but we do play in the Barclays Center.
All right. I've played in the Barclays. I've played it at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to get an opportunity one day. It's just a matter of time.
You said NC State jersey though.
No, I just said favorite place to play outside of PNC Arena.
Outside of PNC Arena, I like to play at Dudley High School. That was one of our rivals when I was at Smith, and I was cooking every time I went down there. So that was probably it. I mean, great. So like,
that's a perfect answer. Well, I won't keep you anymore. I appreciate you taking time out. I know you had therapy this morning, and then you guys got practice later today. I appreciate you hopping on, man. I wish you guys nothing but success. Coach Summy has my number, so if you ever have any questions, Coach Keach has it too. Feel free to shoot me one. I expect you guys, nobody's really believing in you, so I expect you guys to have a good year with that chip on your shoulder and continue to get better and grow. So thanks for coming on and taking the time.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, this concludes, Scott Wood's One Man Wolfpack. Please, everybody, like, follow, share, follow Cam on Twitter and Instagram as well. I appreciate everybody. Tune in. Go Pack. Thank you, buddy.